Okay, it's now 7:15. We'll call the Public Works and Economics meeting to order. Members are Mrs. Ramos, Mr. Rippeth, myself, my alternate is Mr. Simlick.
Yes, sir.
We have one item to discuss tonight, and that's proposed Resolution 21, 2025. I'm going to turn this over to the Service Director to speak on and give us some of the numbers and details of what we're talking about.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What this is for the, this will be for Phase 2 of the Roswell Trail. As you know, with the initial $656,000 that we received, with this grant for $100,000, and you'll see there that we would have the $6,300 that we'd be responsible for as a local public agency. What this grant does, it cuts out some of the, well, it would cut out what's eating up this grant. The original grant is some environmental when you move forward, some planning, some engineering, and when they go out and check out right away. Make sure there's enough room through there for the grant and make sure they put boundaries in. That gets ate up in the $656,000. Well, naturally, when it comes to construction of the actual trail, it shrinks down, you know, from going from A to B is maybe 5 feet, or now it can be 10 feet. You see what I'm saying? Just in math, it just doesn't work. But what I'm saying is, this helps us get farther down the road where it's not eaten up with all these other things that I had mentioned, the environmental, the planning, different things that have to be done to keep moving forward. And as you know, that'll be on the other side of 39 there, because once we get to that, the first phase is supposed to get to 39 right there, and we're gonna jump across 39 and keep moving out towards Roswell, probably in a 3-phase at least process. But we do have, we will be putting in for a AMLR grant again, which we did on the first round for the 656. This is just another grant that we was allowed to apply for to help up eat some of those costs that don't put the shovel in the ground, I guess, kind of thing, all that fluff stuff that's there. So that's why we applied for this. But any questions on that?
Any questions from the committee? Or Mrs. Ramos?
So, what I think I understood you saying is that this part of the grant actually gets some construction done.
No, this will be.
It's still environmental and all
This,
that?
this is
Yeah.
stuff that when we get the grant for, like, say, we're applying for 650,000, the 650 can be all used for making the trail, take all the fluff stuff out, the engineering, the environmental, the planning, right away, those types of things will be eaten up with this grant versus everything else will just be made for the
Actual
trail.
construction.
Actual construction.
Yeah.
So this part is the fluff, quote-unquote fluff
Well, this is the
stuff.
preliminary stuff.
The
As
EPA
Ron
and-
indicated, the environmental study and, probably some engineering
Yeah,
in there.
planning and engineering, yeah.
Planning.
The grant we already have is working on phase 1.
Yeah,
Right.
so rather than.
This grant's working on kind of the preliminary stuff for phase 2.
Correct.
Yeah, and what it would do would, we wouldn't have to, as Ron indicated, use money in the AMLR grant to pay for this. This grant will pay for all that preliminary stuff, and then the $650,000 we got for the AMLR grant will go to actual construction.
There you go, yes.
So phase 1 money didn't go towards preliminary stuff?
We have this, we've done some preliminary stuff, which, again, the 656,000 is starting to get eaten up with some of these fees. Phase 1 will start next year. We should have like 550 left for construction, somewhere in that range. That's why this grant is crucial, again, to eat up some of this stuff, environmental, planning, engineering, and right away. I wish we would have had this grant last phase.
Yes.
Right.
How's that?
Yeah.
That's what it kind of sounds like to me,
Yeah.
is they're flip-flopped.
Yeah,
Turn
Yeah.
it backwards.
Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
sounds like.
and he just didn't offer it last time.
Okay, any other questions for the Service Director? Any questions from council? Administration? Yes? Seeing none, is there any action to be taken? And before I do that, Mr. Service Director, you'd like this to be passed tonight?
If we could, if it's the will of the body, I'd appreciate that, if we would.
Okay.
Right.
Yes, sir.
We do have the 6,800 set aside.
Yes, well, typically,
Yeah.
like, some of this would be for, and this will probably be like, I'm gonna guess it'd be 27, probably, but typically that 6,300 would be come out of my engineering,
Yeah.
which is usually my, I have 100 and something thousand in
Right.
that, so that's where it would be.
So the
at.
funds
Yeah,
Yeah.
are accounted for.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Seeing we don't have any more questions, is there any action to take on proposed resolution 21?
I move that we put resolution 21, 2025 on tonight's agenda and ask for suspension of the rules.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second, Mrs. Ramos. We'll take a vote. Mr. Ribbon?
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes also. Is there anything else to come before committee? Seeing none, is motion to adjourn
I would move that we adjourn.
at 7:20.
Quick.
I made you go 6 minutes.
Philadelphia State Council, and I'll come to order. Would you please rise and remain standing for the invocation and pledge of allegiance? Mr. Walker.
Bow your heads and pray, please. Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful day, this beautiful fall-like day. We just pray for some rain. This city, this area could use some rain. We pray for those families that are dealing recently with tragedy and injury. We just pray that you'll be with those families, give them comfort, give those injured some healing. Be with this council this evening as we make decisions based through you. Just help us, guide us as we make those decisions. Be with our safety forces, our teachers, our students, as they've all returned back to school. Just keep everybody safe and in your hands wrapped around them. We pray all this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you and welcome. Well, council meeting, we'll start off with roll call.
Mr. Kreinbell. Mr. Lonzer.
Here.
Mrs. Ramos.
Here.
Mr. Rippeth.
Present.
Mr. Sears.
Here.
Mr. Simmeling.
Present.
Mr. Walker.
Here.
All right, let it be known that Mr. Cranbill and Mr. Fain have been excused from tonight's meeting. All right, everybody's had a chance to look at the agenda or the additions to the agenda. Mr. Lonzo.
Yes, Mr. President, I ask that we add proposed resolution 21, 2025 to tonight's agenda.
Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Rippeth. Discussion by administration. Council. Roll call.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Simmeling.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, are there any other additions to tonight's agenda? Hearing none, to entertain a motion to approve the agenda for tonight. Mr. Rippeth,
So
thank
moved,
you.
Mr. President.
Need a second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you, Mr. Simmelink. In discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Simmeling.
Yes.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, agenda has been approved. Minutes, everybody had a chance to read the minutes from our last council meeting. Are there any additions or corrections? Here, down, entertain a motion to approve.
I'll move.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Need a second?
I'll second.
Great, thank you, Mr. Simmelink. In discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
Mr. Simmeling.
Yes.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Abstain.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
All right, minutes have been approved. Correspondence, Ms. Courtright.
To Council Clerk from Treasurer Gerber dated August 11th, 2025. This is the Treasurer's Investment and Savings Report for July of 2025. I forwarded this report to Council and Administration. To Council and Administration from Danielle DeMatteo with the Auditor's Office dated August 12th, 2025. This is the July month-end report for the Auditor's Office. To President Kemp from Law Director Fate dated August 22nd, 2025. This is an email titled, "Please assign to Mr. Lonzer's committee," with Resolution 21, 2025 as the attachment. President Kemp asked Mr. Lonzer to take this legislation into his committee. And to Council and Administration from Mayor Day dated August 25th, 2025, the Mayor's report. And that concludes correspondence for this evening, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Ms. Courtright. Moving to our administrative reports. First up, Mayor Day.
Thank you, Mr. President, council members, fellow administrators, and guests. There's going to be a lot of activities going on here in our city over the next couple of weeks. I'd like to touch on a few of those. New Philadelphia has grown, and so has its variety of cultures. This will be celebrated on Saturday, September 6th, when the NPAC organization presents its very first multicultural festival. And it'll be from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. in downtown New Philadelphia on September 6th. The event will be held outside Lacey Performing Arts Center on Allen Lane and will feature music, dancing, and food from performers and vendors who represent our community. So I encourage everyone to attend and bring out your family and enjoy. Also, the last chance for a swim at Tuscarora Park's pool will be on Labor Day, Monday, September 1st. The rides at the park will be closing for the season at 8 p.m. on Sunday, September 7th. And you can find more information by going to TuscaroraPark.com. They'll have more information on the rides, the hours for the rides, and the concessions and everything going on at the park over the Labor Day holiday weekend. And I just want to remind people that the community room at Park Place, the former youth center, is available for rent year-round to host business meetings and wedding receptions, birthday parties, really other kind of gathering events, particularly family events. You can call the park office for more information on that. And once the park closes after Labor Day weekend, work will get underway to construct a new inclusive playground, prepare locations for 3 new kiddie rides that were purchased by RTY Incorporated. Completion of dugout construction and other features will also be done at baseball field number 2. And finally, the Experimental Aircraft Association, EAA, local chapter 1077, will be hosting its 2nd annual Wings and Wheels Fly-In and Cruise-In at Harry Clever Field, and that'll be this coming Sunday, August 31st from 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Vintage and custom airplanes and cars will be featured, as well as the EAA's popular pancake breakfast. So spend some time at the airport this Labor Day weekend, and it's always a fun time and a great way to learn about Harry Clever Field, the EAA, and just have some outdoor fun during the holiday weekend. So that concludes my report. Any questions?
Good report. Any questions for the mayor?
Thank you.
Thanks, Marty. Service Director, Mr. McAbeer.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. President. I'm gonna start with the airport since the mayor just had stopped there. I don't know if everybody's aware that the smoothness of the runway we had an issue with there. The contractor did start again today, but it failed the FAA smoothness test. So what they're doing is doing an overlay on it. They started today. They'll be ready before Sunday. They'll should be out of there by the end of this week. But I just want to make everybody aware of that. At no extra cost to the city. It was their mistake. Originally, I know Dan knows this, originally it was like.
They tried.
Well, yeah, I guess, yeah. Mike knows, because he's laughing about it. It's like, and then we're like, no. You know, we didn't do the job, long story short, they tried to say we was gonna pay
Yeah.
for it. Because they saw some money left on the grant, truly is what they saw, everybody. Everybody knows that was part of the thing, and I'm like, we're like, no. So, they're taking care of it this week. Everything should be fine for the fly-in and everything for Sunday. But I just want to make everybody aware of that. And then if anybody's been out to Glen Drive, they did do the other, the curb and gutter on that west side last week. Turned out fabulous, I believe. This week, was out there today, and they're bringing it up in lifts and putting the good subsoil back in, sub-base, vibrating it, getting it in 6-inch lifts. He thought that he'd probably get that done this week. So if he got that done, we may be looking at base material as far as blacktop next week, and then hopefully top it. So I guess ahead of schedule a few weeks, which typically is unheard of. So I hope that there's no snags there, but we may be done as early as next week with that project. If everything goes with the proof rolling, everything passes the test, that it's dense enough once they do the testing every day. So if not, they gotta kind of tear some of that back out and readjust some lifts, try to get that compaction rate that they need. But let's keep our fingers crossed and get that done at the end of next week. Also, Small Cities Paving, it has been, as far as completed, as far as the paving part of that, and the sealing of the edges, that's all done. The only thing we're waiting on is permanent paving markings on all those streets. If you're down at Reeser, I was down there today, stop bars, a few things down there, they still need some turn stuff. Same way with downtown, you've got the, some parking stalls up on Second and up on, naturally up on Farrell, so. But they look to have that wrapped up by the end of next week also, some of that permanent markings. And while I'm talking about that, as a matter of fact, I just got another call today from someone out on Union Avenue, and if anybody's been out there, from Ray Avenue up to Miller, there was not supposed to be any markings in that area, but they had temporary marked it. I talked with Mark from Superior, the foreman. That was a sub that did that. They won't be permanent markings there. Mr. Wilkie called me today from out there. I'm like, believe me, you're the 18th call I've gotten out there, and that's just, yeah. I said, it was done in error, but Mark from Superior said, well, you know, it's fine, we'll take care of that. Because if we remember, we was just going to Miller Avenue there. I had to go back in, look at the page, and it had from .24 is where it was supposed to start, and they start from Ray. That was a quarter mile, and that's where it was supposed to pick up at and start that. I pointed that out to Mark, and Mark, no problem, so, no fret there. That, it's a temporary marking. It'll be gone, I'm sure, by next year. I'm sure it's just a temporary thing. Also on Friday, we did a stormwater, final, like, closeout for the, one of the gas line projects, the one that we have going over on, Crider Avenue and all that area over in that. So, we closed that out as far as no construction you'll see anymore, but they still gotta do a little bit of restoration work. So now the, permit for the stormwater, we'll just have a monthly application out to put in for us versus a weekly and everything, rain events, that type of thing. So we moved that back out a month, so they'll keep moving on that one there also. And then we've got quite a few calls on, they went down the south side, now they're out on South Broadway, getting some stuff done there on the gas services and different things. But they're still looking at, finishing up actual putting in line. They're hoping to be done by the middle of October, and then restoration work to complete that job. But that's what's going on the gas lines. And that's the end of my report.
What the buses been doing on Glen Drive?
I haven't heard nothing as far as that goes. And I go up there every day, and they're actually doing just a straight up stop, and you're just really policing yourself.
Oh, okay.
I've had no problem, and it's just going up that, they've always kept one whole lane open.
Yeah,
And like I say, dead end, 15 houses and how many's moving
Yeah.
around? So it's actually, it's just been a base of policing yourself, and you see somebody, you don't go, and so on. Yeah,
Great.
it's went well so far.
any questions for the service director?
Yeah, I got a good question.
Yes.
So down at, the gas company down at, Belt Stores on Broadway and
Yeah.
Commercial, like they kinda just threw in some blacktop there on the corner where they had that dug out for that line. Is that like their permanent fix
No,
or? Okay.
no.
All
No,
right.
and I'm telling you, they are great. Anytime we get any work done gas line wise, Enbridge don't cut corners.
Okay.
That'll all be cemented back. They've got to put that in just in case someone walks around there. It's just, that is a
I just
temporary
had
fix.
somebody ask, so.
Yeah, no, and no, nope, no. They do
And no.
Yeah,
no.
yeah, so no. No, they really do. And sometimes, well, I can tell you an instance we had on Sixth Drive on the southeast side one time. They had so many different marks from doing services. It just looked like, you know how that looks, right? I'm like, we can't do this. They probably had 45% of them like, you gotta pave it. Okay. So I mean, they are great they really are. So anything that you see, and we had a call today. I mean, he knows, we had a call today. I called all right, I'll run down and take a look at it.
Yeah.
They take care of everything. I mean, it is right now.
I guess that opens another question then. 4th Street between Front and, West High, where they've dug that out how many times now for
Yeah.
storms, or what are we doing with that?
Yeah, they're still working on that. If you remember, I don't know if I think at the last meeting I reported what they did was, the corner house at Allen Lane and Front, what they did was that was vacant, and finally someone got in there. And what they did, if you remember right, what I said, they had to go down in, disconnect those and go underneath the storm line. They hit it.
They nicked the storm.
They nicked it putting in the big line. So they had to go in and dig it. So they made a permanent repair, but they're waiting now. They'll blacktop that back too, you know.
The whole thing, or like
No,
they're just gonna patch
they'll
things?
patch up through that.
This kinda
yeah.
stinks, cause like
Yeah.
that was lovely, you
Yeah.
know?
They'll
Now we
patch that up.
got what, 5 patches
Yeah,
in there?
they'll patch that back up. Yep.
All right, any other questions?
It's our luck.
Thank you, Mr.
You're welcome.
McAbeer.
Thank you.
All right, Safety Director, Mr.
Thank you,
Milligan.
Mr. President, council members, colleagues. Just want to point out, we posted 3 vehicles for sale. Thanks to the committee for moving that forward. Those vehicles did sell. They covered the cost of our purchase, and we actually have a little net margin on that. So I want to report back that that was executed and finalized. And actually will be picked up. I think the vehicles will be picked up tomorrow, so that went as planned. Secondly, I just want to acknowledge, appreciate the prayer receiving, recognize the tragedy that happened all around our community actually over the weekend, and just I was able to speak with our safety forces that are often called into those situations and have to respond without fear or failure or hesitation, and they did that this weekend and executed without flaw. And I just want to recognize those that the police and fire department that they handled that situation flawlessly, and a very difficult situation for the police and fire, a lot of younger force to go on some of these calls that it's the first time they're having to experience that, but they do it with mercy and grace and professionalism, and they did so this weekend, and couldn't be happier and proud to represent them here for the city, and represent them as a whole. They did an outstanding job, and just ask that we keep that in mind, that they're often called into situations that most would go the other way, and they respond in. So I'm just very appreciative of the work they're doing and the professional people we have in both departments representing us. So, and that's the end of my report.
Any questions?
Just a comment. I did come up over the hill from Oak Shadows to the football stadium, and I did notice that it was telling me exactly what my speed was. So
Yes.
we've apparently addressed that issue.
So yes, thanks for bringing that up. After last meeting, I did go up there, drive the area. We did a couple things. The speed limit signs were actually being blocked by the trees, so we had Ron had his department go out and move those so they'd be more visible. We put an extra speed sign up on the other side. There was only one, so we put and then Chief Bovee worked with the Ohio State Patrol. We appreciate their cooperation to bring in the speed monitoring sign. It does 2 things. One, it brings attention to your speed in the area. It also captures data. So, sometimes in measuring speed, it can be an optical illusion, especially when hills and turns. So often people will think you're going 60, 70 mile an hour, but it can be somewhat of an illusion. But the nice thing about the speed monitoring sign, we'll pull some data from that, and we'll be able to look at what the average speeds are. Ideally what's going to happen is the first 3 days, you're going to see some higher speeds. Yes, when people see the signs, they slow down. But knowing that sign's there the next 3 days, you'll see what impact that could have. And we'll take a look at that information and determine if we need to make any changes in that area. I will appreciate, I've had several calls from residents in that area, very appreciative of the actions that Chief Bovee has taken. So I appreciate her due diligence and the officers of the department working that area. And it's always, every year, a big topic of conversation, and there's sort of some challenges out there. We've looked and pulled some data of the tickets we've written in that area to get an idea of who's going through that area and what we have issues to maybe work with. But the data, the speed monitoring device will give us some ideas of what type of speeds we're dealing with up in that area, and then we can evaluate that to see, if there's additional actions need to be taken.
I
So
just
thank
wanted to
you.
give credit for seeing it there, so thank you.
Yeah, Chief Bovee did a great job, moved swiftly. Actually, she called me the next day. I think she watches the meetings. She called me the next day, and she
Good
had
job,
already in
Chief.
action, so I really appreciate her efforts in that. And her whole crew, actually, an afternoon shift and day shift, they've been monitoring that area also, so I appreciate their efforts.
Yeah, I know I come over there once or twice a day, and I can tell the cars are slowing down. Like I said, once they see, hey, I'm going 35 instead of 25, it makes a difference, so, yeah.
I think people are unsure right now if there's a camera in there taking pictures.
Yeah.
Of it. So
Yeah, so, no, there's no,
there is.
maybe I shouldn't
There
say,
may
maybe I
be.
shouldn't say this, but yes, there is no photo enforcement, we'd have to broadcast that. I've had several comments and calls on that, so.
But I think there's lights, blue and red lights.
There are blue, red
flashing.
lights that show when you're going above the posted speed
Yeah,
limit.
somebody told me they were coming down
activates.
at night, and those lights came on, and
Yeah.
they slowed down real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, just to credit to the highway patrol too, that's actually, that usage of that sign's free. That's being, so, we're gonna utilize that maybe strategically in a couple of other areas. I think it's a good thing to utilize during school, beginning of school season, just
Absolutely.
because traffic volumes increase, certain areas have, more traffic volume than usual, so I think it's a good tool to use then, and then certainly in other areas of the community where we receive some speed complaints, just to get a sense of what the average speeds are in those areas. Yes, Mr.
Talking about that, I've gotten some calls from people on Union, where they pay, but people just whip right down there, and there's the new bike path that's coming. Anyways, the speed limit's 35. So I had a resident call and was wondering if coming from Ray up to Wabash, Ray to Wabash,
Gotcha.
a 35, okay, and then Wabash to Ray, a 35 mile per hour speed sign when you're coming off Wabash down to Ray. Sorry, it's the wrong way.
Okay.
You know
Yeah,
where I'm talking about? Closer to Wabash, because the cars come around there and go,
Yeah. You're saying lack of speed limit signs is a concern?
closer to Wabash, yeah, I haven't looked for them, I
Yeah.
was checking the marking out. They think the speed signs, I'll check it out, is too far back.
Okay. I'll
from
certainly drive the area.
Coming
Yeah, I'll drive the area. You know, Ron's sign division.
Wabash down.
Yeah, Ron's sign division does a great job. We've been able to move signs and do things pretty quickly, and so I'll take a look at that area similar I did with Donna Haylet from a signage perspective, and talk to the chief and see you know what traffic enforcement we've had on Union Avenue to see if they're recognizing an issue with
That
speed.
was one of the questions.
Yeah, what I am finding when I drive around the community and we look at signage issues, a lot of them have been, trees have overgrown where the signs were.
Yeah.
So we're having to move them to make them more visible from that perspective. And just as one follow-up, when I think about it, I reported to this committee, or to this body, that I was working with ODOT. I have had great conversations with ODOT, making great relationships there. They're helping me tremendously on what I can and can't do, and helping me in areas that are just maybe outside the city limits, but traffic coming into the city limits. So really look forward to continue working with them, talking about the West End and what that's gonna look like and what opportunities we have. So I will keep you up to date as that goes, but those conversations have progressed and moved forward, and just appreciate their partnership.
And I had another question, I'm
Yes.
sorry. What streets are semis allowed on in the city?
That I'll have to respond back to you with. I don't know off the top of my head. what they're
Okay,
prohibited
because
or
I'm
prohibited.
driving around, I'm like, that doesn't seem like it should be here.
I don't know that we have any, Ron, you may
Do
know.
we have
this
any
being
rules
here.
on
Do we
that?
have
Yeah,
any
there is.
restricted
I
areas?
mean, which one was
streets?
yawn, I guess, and I'll tell you if it was supposed to be Cheryl.
Okay, they go down Union, Tuscarawas Avenue, and
Tusker, did you say Tusk?
Tuscarawas Avenue.
Yeah, they're allowed on that.
Okay, and then coming off of West High onto 7th.
West High on the 7th. Yes,
That's
because,
They're allowed on 7th, because they
yeah,
have,
because
they have to make
UPS and
deliveries.
everything can go back through there and different things, yeah.
It was a plain old semi.
Yeah, well, I guess,
Yeah.
okay, a plain old semi and UPS can go back through there.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll certainly look into that. That's not something I'm aware of.
At Springbrook, you're not allowed on east, but
Right.
the
Right.
GFS truck always goes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're
And,
allowed on the east side, but not the west side.
12th Street Northwest, going to, well, I think they're actually leaving the chemical plant up there.
Creighton.
That would be-
Creighton.
That would probably, yes, they'd be leaving the chemical plant. Yeah. I'll take a look at those areas. I'm not familiarized myself with restrictions as it relates to commercial traffic.
Okay.
Would I look into that?
A lot of them are marked, Kevin, like Front Street down here at High. There's no truck traffic, it has a sign there.
That block.
Different areas we have it marked. But to know them all offhand, I can't remember them all, to be honest with you either, Kevin. It's,
You know more than I.
yeah,
If I
no,
did,
it's, and I don't know, the rulings on that anymore. It's
Yeah.
been so long since I've been out of traffic, that you may not be able to enforce, but don't have a sign, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, so, you know,
All right, any other question? All right, thank you, Mr. Milligan. Auditor,
Thank you, Mr. President. No report tonight.
all right, thank you, that's quick. All right, Treasurer, Mr. Gerber,
No additional reports, sir.
all right. Right, we move into our board commission reports. First up, Planning Commission, Mayor Day.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Planning Commission will be meeting the 9th of September at 1 PM here in council chambers. And we'll continue our discussion about a housing development on the south side. Hopefully, that'll be, we'll be able to wrap that up and make the recommendation to zoning annexation.
Great. Board of Zoning Appeals, Mr. McAbeer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Board of Zoning Appeals, the scheduled meeting will be for September 9th at 5 PM. But as I've said many times this year, we've yet to have one. And again, I think, I'll say it again, it's great work from Wendy Moeller as far as taking some of that gray area out of that zoning part that we had. So appreciate council passing that legislation and moving off things that was, at the end of the day, it was cumbersome, and it's cleaned a lot of things up, and there's been no meetings so far yet this year, and it was typically 9 to 10 a year, so.
Gonna put yourself out of business.
Yeah, right? Put that board out of
Yeah,
business.
yeah.
They're so well paid.
That's true. All right, Airport Commission, Ms. Alonso.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Airport Commission will be meeting September 9th at 6 PM at the Harry Kleber Field Airport Meeting Room.
All right. Park Board, Mr. Sears.
Thank you, Mr. President. I had my cemetery and my park stuff. I wasn't sure which one would get called first, so. So the park board, met on the 14th. Several of the items discussed, the mayor already mentioned as far as activities going on, the pool closing date and the ride closing date. Really, only one other thing I guess I wanted to mention, I had noted from the meeting, was the continued work on Field 1. I'm sure everybody's seen the activity with the building of the dugouts and such. It sounds like they're waiting on some brick to brick the backs of those. And then Kelly Ricklick and some of those folks are gonna be working on, the bleachers are kind of gonna just nose into the back of that wall. And if you know where the height of that wall is, the bleachers are gonna come like just below it, so they'll be kinda elevated. So they're trying to have that in place before this next coming season in the spring. So that was one thing. And then the other thing, I sent everybody out, or I asked Jamie to send out some attachments from the New Philadelphia Youth Soccer Association came in and presented with some ideas for, well, I guess they talked a little bit about their program and their growth and their numbers and such. And then they requested to use some of the space at the Southside Community Park. So where the master plan, one time there was baseball fields all back in there. As of now, it's just kind of sitting, idle. So they had asked for permission to, they'd like to raise some money, start raising some money, and then kind of develop that into some field space. Right now, they're out on Pleasant Valley. I don't know if anybody's ever driven out on Pleasant Valley on a Saturday morning. It's pretty crowded.
Yes.
And the reality is they don't own that land, and so if that church decides they wanna, do some other things with it, they really have no say. So I think they're kinda trying to be a little bit strategic. So there's some information, some numbers and such, in those attachments that I sent out to everybody. If you have any questions, let me know. And I will finish with the next park board meeting is September 17th at the Park Pavilion.
And there's pickleball tournament this weekend?
Yes, that's right. I wasn't sure, Mayor, if the United Way, I think, is putting it on
United Way, yep.
Labor Day.
Labor Day weekend,
Yeah.
yep. Pickleball tournament.
So that's
I think it
awesome.
was a big event. They're there. They're there like
It was
all
very
day.
big.
Yeah, it's like a 12-hour marathon pickleball.
Lots of activity this weekend,
Mhm.
besides the Buckeyes game.
Who?
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to Health Board, Mr. Simmelink.
The Health Board met on the 13th of August, and in response to questions even from this room, they are now administering flu shots. You don't need an appointment, you just need to show up and smile, and they take care of it. There is no word on an updated COVID shot this year, and there's some doubt about whether there's going to be one either. So, that's it, Mr. President.
All right. Thank you. Move into our council committee reports. Finance, Mr. Rippeth.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no report tonight.
All right, Public Works and Economic Development, Ms. Alonso.
Thank you, Mr. President. Public Works and Economics Development Committee met this evening at 7:15. We had a short discussion on proposed resolution 21, 2025. We were voted unanimously to add that to tonight's agenda, and we're asking the council to suspend the rules on that so we can have passage on the first reading. And we concluded at 7:21.
All right, thank you. Safety, Health, and Service, Mr. Simmelink.
The next meeting, I got it too late for this meeting, but that group will meet prior to next meeting to authorize resolution for the city auction, the annual city auction on October 23rd. Clear your calendar, that's where they sell the unneeded, unclaimed, and confiscated property. Our committee at the before the next meeting will set that up. That's it. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. Zone and annexation, Mrs. Ramos.
Thank you, Mr. President. No report.
All right, Cemetery, Mr. Sears.
Thank you, Mr. President. The cemetery board met a couple weeks ago here in council chambers. The most notable thing, I had asked Jamie to send out to everybody was the cemetery board voted to increase some fees for the, starting January 1st, the 2026 calendar year. I have more detail, depends how much you want to know, I can share. I sent out some of the summary that I sent out to everybody. I did some rough math and some calculations. It looks like it'll increase, I don't know if I want to call it revenue, it'll increase incoming funds by about 13% overall, based on what they did in 2024. Obviously, they don't have 2025 numbers yet, but it'll increase. So, just trying to keep up with the cost of everything, be it labor, be it, stones, be it, what have you. So, again, there's more detail in that attachment. If anybody has any questions, I'm still learning a lot of the lingo when it comes to the cemetery meetings. I feel a little better now than I did 4 months ago, but if you have a question, I'll most likely have to get back to you on it. So that's the end of my report.
All right, thank you. Contact and Special, Mr. Walker.
Thank you, Mr. President. No report this evening.
All right. The floor is now open for visitors' comments. Anyone wishing to address council should rise, state your name and address all comments to the chair. You will be given 5 minutes. All right, here now, council comments. Any council comments tonight? Mayor D, what the next meeting on the 9th, we got Mr. McInturf coming in, what,
Correct.
start 6, correct?
Yes.
So council holds, everybody put it on, make sure you have it on your calendar, so 6 o'clock, September the 9th, right?
The 8th.
8th, sorry.
And that's Committee of the Whole.
Yes. All right, we'll move into our legislative agenda. Ms. Courtwright.
Resolution number 21, 2025, a resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of New Philadelphia to apply for the Ohio Mid-Eastern Governments Association, Omega Regional Transportation Planning Organization, RTPO Capital Allocation Program, and declaring an emergency first reading.
Is there any action taken on this resolution tonight?
Yes,
Mr.
Mr.
Alonso.
President, I ask that we suspend the rules on resolution 21, 2025.
Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Rippeth. In discussion by administration, council, roll call.
Mr. Lonzer.
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth.
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos.
Yes.
Mr. Sears.
Yes.
Mr. Simile.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes.
All right, rules have been suspended. Is there any Mr. Lonzo, yes.
Yes, Mr. President, I ask that we pass Resolution 21, 2025.
Do I have a second,
Yes,
Mr.?
sir.
All right. Do we have any discussion from the community, administration, council, roll call?
Mr. Lonzo?
Yes.
Mr. Rippeth?
Yes.
Mrs. Ramos?
Yes.
Mr. Sears?
Yes.
Mr. Simmelink?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
All right, resolution 21, 2025 has passed.
That concludes legislation for this evening,
All right,
Mr.
thank you,
President.
Mr. Courtright. Do we have any unfinished old business? Do we have any new business? If not, then entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Alonso. We are at 8:05. Thanks, everyone. Have a good Labor Day weekend.